All right. It's on you, Chris.
All right. Salt, pepper, ketchup. Salt, pepper, ketchup in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back. It's Salt, Pepper, Ketchup.
Salt, pepper, ketchup.
It's the podcast about healing that's powerful, authentic, and culturally relevant. And I'm Zoha.
And I am Angel.
And we back for another week.
Back on the block.
All right, man. How you doing?
I am good. I went to a baby shower last night. One of my little cousins is having their baby, and it was just such a beautiful family event, and it was a wonderful opportunity to celebrate her. And I got this fancy pin. So
that pin is cute. I was looking at that. Yeah. Yo, people. I just can't believe people still having kids, even though I have 3.
Yeah, y'all still doing it.
It's like I feel like I'm on the front end of a dystopian novel. So every time I hear somebody else having a kid, I'm just like, okay, we still doing this.
Right.
Oh man. Anything else happened this week?
Nothing else.
All right, man.
What's going on with you?
Oh man. Just work. See me do your dirt.
Say that.
That's it. Went out last night, had a date night with my honey bun.
Nice.
That was cute. We haven't had a date since
Marley was born.
No, come on, that would be just sad. No, I want to say November.
Oh, that's not bad.
What?
It's not bad.
No, we should have a date every month, at least once a month, like something special. We just been like Christmas came, all that shit happened, and we was just like tied up. Right. But I say November. Yeah, but yeah, it was cute. It was something to witness. I had my first drink in like 4 months.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So that was nice, just to throw my hair down and just relax a little bit and hang out with my boo. He got all sexy and dressed up.
Oh, glad y'all had a chance to do that.
Yeah, it was cute.
That's
but other than
fun.
that, just been chilling. Other than that.
Good. Well, Salt, Pepper, Ketchup has some exciting news.
What Salt, Pepper, Ketchup?
We have 2 guests today.
Oh, I thought you said, yes, that is exciting.
Caught you off guard.
Right. That's it. Keep me on my toes.
You said, wait, what news?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yes. Today we have joining us 2 amazing individuals that we both love and adore, Bianca Ward and Isaiah Webster. And they're going to have a moment to tell you a little bit about themselves. But I just wanted to open the floor to you all to see how your week was.
Hello, loves. Let me just first say, y'all are so adorable or whatever. I am really excited. Like, now it is truly a crossover episode, and so this makes me really happy.
Yeah.
The week was weeking. It was okay. I felt like it started off strong, and then I don't know. I guess I started to get sick, and then it was all downhill from there. But keeping my head above water, making a way where I can.
Temporary layoff.
Good times. Don't do it. How about you, Isaiah?
First of all, do we have any copyright permission for these songs y'all sing? Because they're gonna lock all of our asses up. Every single. First of all, I'm not part of it. That's Angel and Bianca. I don't want to go to jail. But hello, ladies. It's so good to see you, and thanks for inviting us, because we never get invited anywhere because Bianca's behavior is so out of bounds. So it's nice that we finally got invited somewhere.
Not too many lies there.
And my week was good. So I think all of you know I'm a huge tennis and football fan. We're in the middle of the football playoffs, and the Australian Open is going on, and so I have been deep into the balls this week.
Yes, he has. Deep into them.
No puns today.
Balls deep. Got it.
Balls deep. So hot.
Isaiah and Bianca are from our sister podcast, Ward and Webster, and we did a crossover episode last month on their podcast. And so, what did we talk about last month on their podcast?
We talked about self-care during the holiday season.
Yes.
Mhm.
And they're here this week to talk about manifestation, to build off of our theme that we've been rolling with all month long around beginning the new year.
Yep, and co-creation and manifesting. So we are so thrilled to have you two here.
She really is. She is OPR giddy.
I love
I'm excited
that.
to have y'all, but like I think Angel is like losing it.
Same. Just same.
All right, you gonna do the healing corner?
Yeah. So before we get into the other business of the show, just want to take a little bit of time to center ourselves in a healing corner. We actually only have 2 things for today. This was a short list this week. In Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis has blocked a pilot advanced placement African American study course and says that the course does not align and is contrary to the state law. White supremacists and bigots will come up with any rationale for not having proper history and facts in school. So shame on you, Ron DeSantis, get it together.
Yeah, and the biggest issue isn't he thinking about considering a run for president? Yeah,
Yes.
So we should be paying attention to his movements, just because he's trying to throw his hat in the ring. We do not need Trump 2.0, and it sounds like that is exactly what that is.
Right. Our hearts are with the family of Keenan Anderson, who was a 31-year-old father and teacher who passed away hours after the LAPD tased him repeatedly, and he suffered cardiac arrest and later passed away. Activists and community members are calling for justice for Keenan's life. Also, Anderson is the cousin of the Black Lives Matter co-founder, Patrisse Cullors. So she has joined the movement to have the police chief resign and have the officers responsible for Anderson's death held accountable. So our prayers are with the family. Justice, I hope, is attained. You all take care of yourselves out there while you're doing this work.
I don't have nothing for that.
All right. And the healing corner really is this our opportunity to always presence you with the things that are happening around the country. And every time we talk about it, it won't always be nice or comfortable. We have to face the realities of where we live. So thanks y'all for being there with me in the healing corner. Now we're going to transition over to our guests, Isaiah and Bianca. We would like to open up the space to invite you to share with the folks a little bit about who you are and also about your gym that is the podcast Ward and Webster.
Who are we? That is always a good question. I am Bianca Ward. I have a lot of titles and a lot of hats. One of my favorites is Black Mama. It's my favorite, probably my favorite title. Professional superhero is another one that I like to wear. Co-host of the amazing podcast Ward and Webster, where every week Isaiah and I are allowed to go through the airwaves with our shenanigans and tomfoolery. It is, somebody asked me recently, like, how would you describe Ward and Webster? And I was like, very Black, very queer, very unapologetic, I think is the ways that I would describe the show. It's about, what we want people to know, feel, and do to live their best lives. And it's fun and foolishness and a sprinkle of fuckery from Isaiah every week. Isaiah, how would you describe the show? Tell us who you are.
So I am a queer Black man. I am a trainer by profession. I am, someone who likes to move through the universe being guided by, politics, astrology, astronomy, and just, doing all the things. And I was so thrilled that we were asked to come on and have this conversation about manifestation, because it's literally right up my alley. As it relates to the show, I really see it as a leap of faith. So Bianca and I were friends and coworkers before we started our podcast, I should say. And, we were by no means professional podcasters, quote unquote. We were just Black folks with something to say. And so we took a leap of faith. And one of the things we always encourage people on our show to do is to take that leap of faith. You don't have to be, quote unquote, professional. You don't have to be a quote unquote expert in everything. If you have something to say, then get to a mic and say it.
We would agree with that sentiment.
And folks can listen to us. We put out new episodes every Saturday, wardandwebster.com, or literally wherever they listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, the things. We're there, and we are going into February. We'll make 2 years of us just trying to figure it out. When Isaiah was like, let's do a podcast, I was like, hell no. And 2 years later, here I am. So one could say that he manifested a Ward and Webster. I am grateful.
Well, congratulations on your success and happy anniversary in advance.
Thank you.
And I have to tell you all, superheroes was definitely a word that came to mind this morning when I was thinking about both you and Isaiah. I admire you both so much for who you are in the world, the work you do for our people, how you center the voices of the unheard. I mean, I just admire you so much, and I really appreciate you all coming here and sprinkling some of your magic on Salt, Pepper Ketchup. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we've all known each other for a while now through various work relationships, and to actually both end up with podcasts on this side of the and similar, we talk through similar veins on our podcast. We're always talking about promoting wellness and healing on both ends. So, and that, and that's what we that's what y'all still professionally do. I do too, but just differently. And it's just like Isaiah said, like, if you feel the need to share your information, do not feel like you have to be some quote unquote professional in order to share it. Somebody might need to hear your voice. We can't reach everyone. Everyone isn't going to resonate with either our podcast. So there's more than enough space. And I think that a lot of people are like, right now, the podcast world is becoming overpopulated or
oversaturated.
Oversaturated. And it's just like, how can that be?
Exactly. There's so many, I feel like there's so many different people and opinions and platforms and things to say. Like, why not? That's like saying there are too many accounts on social media. People are still going to create them to put out their favorite memes and stuff. So here we are.
That, as a person who only eats vanilla ice cream and butter pecan ice cream, I understand why people are that way.
Hold
This is violence, Zoha. This is violence.
Ice cream. Sorry.
Hold on, Auntie Zoha. Did you say butter pecan?
Yes, that's it.
That's a grown Black woman flavor right there.
That's how it's like.
Oh, everybody love butter pecan.
That's auntie ice cream right
That's
there.
auntie ice cream.
There's nothing wrong with butter pecan, but I'm still stuck on only butter pecan or butter pecan because I'm from Louisiana. We could do that another day, but only butter pecan and vanilla. What's up with that?
I just don't like any other flavor.
Oh, toppings though on the vanilla or just vanilla?
I mean, I'll eat vanilla Swiss almond from Haagen-Dazs.
Oh,
We're not gonna shame you, boo. We're gonna let you in.
You stay true to who you are.
Very ruled by my Taurus rising, Mars and Mercury. I'm very much comfort.
Okay. We want that for you.
I want the same thing, the same way all the time. So, you want to get into this manifestation conversation?
All right.
All right, you want to go first?
Yeah, so let's ground the people. What are we talking about when we say manifestation? What is it exactly?
So for me, Angel, I feel like there's energies around all of us. And when I did my intro a moment ago, I talked about moving through the universe and how when I think about anything, I think about how we as beings are on this planet right now in this moment, and how the one constant thing about our entire universe is change, is that it's constantly changing. And so as we move through the universe and shift with it, there are energies around us. And for me, manifestation is how you harness those energies that are around you, and so that you can work with them, and so that there's a harmony with both your actions, your intentions, and just the general energies that are all around us. On our show, Bianca and I have a book club, and one of the books we read last year was called The Magic of Manifesting: 15 Advanced Techniques to Attract Your Best Life, Even If You Think It's Impossible. It's written by someone by the name of Ryu Shinohara. And it really does teach people how to shift these energies that are around them to kind of set intentions, or to quote unquote manifest what they want to manifest. It is an extension of vision boarding, if you will, setting intentions, being purposeful, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, that's how I define it.
Ditto
Thank
everything
you.
he said, and he's just coming with book resources and things. Look at and pronouncing them correctly. I am so proud of him. I would. I think the first time I heard about or learned about manifestation was really young, and my mother, she had creative visualization by Shakti Gwain, and she would talk about. My mother would always talk about visualizing what it is that you want, seeing yourself in that place, being able to use all your senses in order to kind of create what you wanted next. So, if it's that new job, what is the desk look like, or your boss sound like, or what does it feel like when you walk into that space? So I think now I try to kind of reach back to what she had first told me about really using all of your senses to ground what it is that you hope for yourself.
Yeah.
Never heard that.
Oh, really?
But it's an awesome way to think about it, using all of your senses to attract. Yeah, like that.
When you think about like when you were just saying earlier, you said Isaiah manifested the podcast, right? When you think about manifestation, does it just happen just like that, or do you think most of the times you have to be more purposeful in your movement?
I think that it's the latter, Zoha. I think that you have to take steps towards the destiny that you want. I believe that we control our own destinies. And to a certain extent, the way that we control them is by working with the energies around us. So while we can't control the future, we can control our place in it. And for me, that's how I think about it. So in other words, if you want, let's just say that you want a fancy car, a fancy red car. The first step is to visualize the car, like Bianca was just talking about. Think about yourself in the car, thinking about driving me to everywhere I need to be in the car, thinking about helping me pick up all the men in the car. Like you have to have that picture in your mind. But you're not going to get the car just thinking about it. You got to take some steps to do that. You need to go look at cars. You need to price out cars. You need to do the research. And if you take these steps, if you visualize it, what I think happens is that you're working with the energies around you, and eventually the universe will give you an opportunity to purchase this car. And of course, there's a lot of more steps in there. There's the financial steps, the insurance steps, all those sorts of things. But it's the car's not just going to come to you. You have to do something to make that happen. So I think it's the latter of the question that you posed to us.
So what do you do?
I think Bianca.
No. Go ahead.
No, you
No,
go ahead. You're the guest.
Oh, thank you. I don't know, when you said the statement about us controlling our destiny, I think I paused there because I would like to think I have control to a certain extent. Because I think about how the control that I do have, and I talk a lot to my son about that because my son is 10. He's wonderful. He struggles with thunderstorms and rain. Like it makes him very anxious. And so we do these grounding exercises, and one of the things I often say to him is like, what can you control? So if we can't control the weather, if we can't control the rain, what do you have control over? You have control over where you are in the house, or what you're doing in that moment, right? And so I think about, as I move through life, what do I have control over? And so if it's wanting something or wanting to manifest something, I know that I can control what it is that I'm asking for, how I'm visualizing that. Like Isaiah said, the steps that I'm taking to get there. But I also know that I am one person in a very big world. So there are things that are still going to happen around me that are beyond my control. What I can control, though, is how I react to them, how I move through them in order to achieve whatever it is that I am hoping for. The Bible says faith without works is dead. Isn't that what it say? I don't know. People always, the elders always quoting that one to me. I don't know where that is in the scriptures. But so sometimes that manifestation is that faith, that visualization, that prayer, and then the works is what effort am I going to put towards making this happen?
So do you think that there's as many different ways to manifest as there are people who can imagine ways to manifest? Or do you think there's a specific way that is, a sure thing?
I think there's a variety of different ways. I think, earlier Isaiah mentioned vision boards, and I think that's so dope because there is something about being able to see and to reflect on, or to visualize. I think I have recently gotten back into writing things down, writing what it is. There's something about pen to paper, writing it down, making it plain, what it is that I want for my life. And at the same time, what has happened thus far that I'm grateful for. So I think for me also with the idea of manifestation is also, I try to also be in a spirit of gratitude. And so I think there is, I don't think that there's one way. I think it can look very different for folks.
As I was listening to you, Bianca, I was thinking about people who didn't feel like they were in control, right, in their lives, and how manifestation might be a challenge for folks that feel like they're with no control, right, and how things go in their lives. And I think your point about focusing in on what you can do and what is manageable for you is a good place for people who feel like they're out of control for them to start.
Absolutely. And I also, yes, and knowing where to start. Sometimes it is really, I had a wonderful friend and colleague who I actually work with again now, but he would often say to me, Bianca, how is your breathing? And I think that that's one of those things where that is something that we have control of, a very small but big thing that we literally have control over. in those moments that feel out of control, in those moments that feel overstimulated or chaotic or just unwell, just being able to check in with that breathing and slow it down and to be present is something that um, is one area of control that I don't know if we tap into enough or maybe just sometimes take for granted. Because until he started saying that to me, it was the moment where I was like, why am I literally holding my breath and my body is tight or breathing really fast? Like I in this moment with everything that's going on have the power to take a deep breath, to center at least myself, and then to kind of figure out what's next or how to move out of whatever that space is that I feel like I don't have control in.
And if I may, I think that folks often don't realize their ability to harness power around them and to take that control. And to your point, Angel, to your larger point, Bianca, people sometimes feel like they don't have control over their own destiny. And just to give you one example, I moved during the pandemic because I realized that the place that I was living in was simply too small. And if I was going to be at home, spending all this time at home, I just needed more space. And so I had to shift the energies around me because I did not like that destiny. And I was like, I'm getting the fuck up out of here. I don't know if we can curse here.
Yeah, you can do that.
Y'all can edit that out if you need to. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Even if you don't have the means to like move, if you remember that spaces hold so much energy. And if you want to shift that energy, change the furniture in your room, change the furniture in your home. It is amazing how different a space feels when you just move the furniture around. And this is you taking ownership of your space, the energies around you. And when I say you have control of your own destiny, that's what I mean. And so this is a topic that we talk about a lot on the show. Bianca's brought up, we even had an interior designer come on the show and talk about how you can shift the energies in your space. So it's like, I would encourage folks to think about all the ways that they have control over the things in their lives.
Right. And when Bianca was talking about breath, that's literally what we learned in yoga teacher school. It's literally your breath is creation. Like that's how you're here. That's why you're alive. You're breathing in and out. And if you center your thoughts in that space, then you realize that everything that you are wanting to create or express should follow your breath. And if you are creating from a calm space, then you'll get that result. If you are breathing from a calm space, you'll get that result in your creation. If you're breathing from a tight, closed, worried, paced, like anxious space, then that's what the movement or the creation that you create will show up as. And constantly, always bringing that to mind whenever I'm moving. Am I moving from anxiety? Am I moving because of lack? Am I moving because of fear? I know that that's the type of breathing I'm doing. That's what I'm breathing into my existence.
Yeah. I don't think we pay enough attention to our breath. Literally. We don't. And we don't give our breath and our breathing the respect that it deserves.
Man.
It's real.
How you can use breathing to bring you up, you can use breathing to bring you down, you can use breathing to ground you, you can use breathing to clear off. There's so many ways and different breathing techniques that you can utilize that can be supportive. I just don't think we honor our breath enough until we can't breathe, right?
That part. Literally, even as you were saying it, I was thinking I had terrible asthma as a child up until like high school. Just asthma attack, inhaler pumps, nebulizers, all of that. And so I spent a lot of my life struggling to breathe, just trying to like figure out my own lung capacity.
Right.
And now as an adult, I feel like, although I don't have asthma in the same way, but still trying to relearn how to breathe in all kind of situations. And just being mindful, literally mindful breathing and teaching that, to my own kids, that your breath is so powerful.
Yeah.
Hey, now do you all want to talk a little bit about how you use the gift of manifestation in your daily experiences?
So I think I was listening to another podcast, and forgive me, I don't remember the name, and they were throwing shade on vision boards because I still do them, but apparently they've become a little bit passé. Is that the experience that you all have?
No.
We just
Okay.
did vision boards on the show.
Yeah, I do. I do them as well. I actually had excuse me. I actually had this year I did my whole holiday party was vision boarding. So I did away with the traditional holiday party, and instead it was all about setting intentions for 2023. I called it Manifesting 23, and literally I did a small group of people that came over and did vision boards. So I still use the vision board to set my reminders on my daily experience because I don't look at it every day, but a couple of times a week I try to go to it and just sit with it for a bit because it's right here in my closet where I start the beautification process every day. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, these are some of the things that I set out that were important to me. How have I moved forward on those? This is kind of like almost like an accountability for myself. It's like,
Right.
okay, so I put on this thing that I wanted to volunteer more. What steps have I taken to make that happen? So when you ask me how do I do it daily, it's about looking at the vision board and thinking about, okay, what have I done today, this week, this month towards this vision that I set for myself? How am I holding myself accountable? And for me, that's how it works.
Nice.
I love that. I um uh it's kind of, I do a lot of list writing, to-do lists of things that I want a lot of lists, right? And so what I've begun to do is just kind of write down 3 things that I want to accomplish, or that I hope to see for the day. Then it might be for the week, etc. And so again, for me, there's something about literally the action of writing things down, because I'm thinking about what that's going to look like, or how that is going to feel once it's accomplished, as I'm doing it. So I think it's that. It used to manifestation daily also used to look like prayer for me in the morning. Um, I don't know. I've gotten, you ever notice sometimes, let me just lean into this mic right here. Sometimes I, and I notice I do it on our show as well, Ward and Webster, that I will say things out loud and I'm like, damn, Bianca, you should start doing that again, or you should. And so even as I was saying, like, it often looks like prayer, but as I'm saying it, I'm realizing I don't do that as much as I used to. There used to be a practice that I was very grounded in the morning, literally before my feet hit the bed, just centering my thoughts, my intentions for the day, my hopes and desires for my family, etc. And I don't know why I've gotten away from that. Maybe we'll revisit that when we talk about when it gets difficult.
What I heard from both of you is being in relationship with yourself as you're co-creating with the universe and manifesting whatever you're doing. That's something that stood out for me.
There's one thing that definitely that Isaiah brought up for me. There's a way that so we all scroll in the socials. It's a thing now. So Instagram has like this part where you can go in, like we call scenic. You can look up all these scenic videos, and it'll just be like oceans or turtles floating around at the bottom of the ground or whatever, waterfalls, whatever. So I usually, especially like oceans, waterfalls, or it's like the bottom of the sea, and it's like all of these creatures and stuff, I'll look at those like maybe like 5 minutes, like let it keep running and running, and think about all the abundant things I want to flow into my space. Like if I need more money, or if I need more clients, or whatever that looks like, you know, and I'll just keep, you know, looking at that thing and keep my mind on the thing that I want to be falling out that waterfall onto me. So I do a lot of visualization like Isaiah does, but I use the videos that other people have the good sense to put up on the internet.
Yeah, I think visualization is actually one of the more fun aspects of manifesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can get with that because I'm a visual thinker. I think in pictures. I see every thought that I have. And so I think one of the tricks too in co-creation is figuring out what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the process going to be that supports you, and how can you use it and replicate it in different aspects of your life?
Yeah.
And I think Angel and Zoha, I agree. And remember that when you're doing visualizations, you're only limited by the limits of your imagination. And so that means there are no limits. And so you can visualize whatever you want it to be. Now, I do think that the universe only gives us what we need or what we're able to use usefully. And so if you're manifesting winning the lottery and you've been manifesting that for 10 years and you haven't won the lottery and you wonder, God darn it, I can't win this money and I've been manifesting that, the universe is saying you don't need that. That's not for you. And so I do think there's a difference between people just feel like they can manifest whatever they want, being a billionaire. But, you know, it goes without saying that there's a lot of unhealthiness in that sort of manifestation. What is it about being a billionaire that you feel like feeds your soul, feeds your purpose? And I would say, why don't we manifest why the universe keeps telling you no?
Ooh, I want you to go deeper into that, Isaiah, because that is a big train of thought, is that I can have anything I want, right? Like, and I am a firm believer of you can have anything you want that's on your path.
Right.
There you
That
go.
part.
There
That
you
part.
go. Everything ain't for everybody.
Right. And you know, the internet again teaches, you know, you see people living these lavish lifestyles and you think, why I can't have that? Or, you know, and it's just like, how do you address that? Like, how would you help others address that?
It's a simple numbers game. Think about it this way. Everybody can't be billionaires because then being a billionaire would have no purpose. And when you think about why does this happen to some and not to others, it's simple math. We can't all be tall. We can't all be short. We can't all be rich. We can't all be poor. There's no value in that. There has to be variance. The universe teaches us that balance is the only thing that makes it work. And so we have to have balance to everything. There's a balance between gravity and energy that keeps our sun, the star, balanced. If it wasn't for that balance, it would collapse in on itself. So everything around us tells us that there must be balance. And when you're not getting something, it's because you're out of balance. That's what the universe is telling you.
So it's a math equation.
Yes, it all comes back to math.
So you need to figure out your personal math equation, basically.
Your math. Yeah, Isaiah, I have a follow-up question now. So, right, like how do people then include more balance in their lives? You know, oftentimes we're not focused, we're not on we're not on it. So how do you bring balance into your life so that you can manifest?
I think Bianca is onto something with the breathing and the kind of being centered and really thinking about what's important to you and what's valuable to you and why. And do you want to be wealthy just for the sake of being wealthy? Do you want to be wealthy just because it makes your life easier? Or do you have a grander plan for the wealth that you're going to acquire? Is your goal to become rich so that you can give that money away to people who are less resourced? And so what I try to think about is the why behind the things that we want. So you want this, going back to my analogy about the car, why do you want the car? Is it because you just want to be seen in it to make people jealous? Does it make you feel better about yourself? could you achieve what you're looking to achieve by not having the car? And so for me, it's the why. It's why do I feel like I need this? And do I have to get that to get to what I really want? Because there's always something underneath that. If you really want the car because you feel some kind of way about approaching 50, well, then why don't we work on that? And then you might realize that that car is not really important to you at all. So for me, the balance comes from the why.
So learning your base desires and beliefs and why they exist.
Yes, because that puts you more back in touch with your purpose. Because again, why are we here? What do we want to achieve while we're here? For me, just speaking for myself, it's relationships. And so, I never wanted a fancy home. I never wanted a lot of money. I just wanted to take trips with my friends because for me, having that adventure with them, spending time with them, that's what life is. But that's Isaiah. Everyone has the type of life that they want to lead, and that's okay. But you have to kind of know what your thing is in order to pursue it.
Right. Bianca, you have anything for that?
Every now and then he is wise.
Well, he kind of stole it from
I mean, I guess wisdom really does come with age. So, but everything, but I love the idea of just remembering your why, just coming back to the purpose. I think that really does bring about balance. And when we don't, just thinking about how off balance or unsettled or chaotic or discombobulated, or as the Jamaicans say, haunted, we feel when we are not rooted in our why or why we're doing something or our purpose, like that. There's so much to say about that. I can tell when I am feeling most overwhelmed or most anxious or most unsure. It's because I've gotten away from, my why, whatever that looks like. And it can be very big, who I am, who am I, who is Bianca, purpose driven, life-ish, or it could be what am I supposed to be doing right now in this moment? How do I recenter myself in order to accomplish what it is that I'm supposed to be doing right now? Because I will get distracted real quick.
And life will do that. Family, work, children, personal commitments, all those things we volunteered for, right?
Yes.
Life will wear us out. And I think you make a really good point of kind of staying focused and remembering. I love this idea of remembering your purpose. And when you get off track, to always go back to that. That's real easy math. Thanks for that, folks.
So how is manifestation different than alignment or being in a creation mode? Or is it different?
That is a good question. Alignment to me feels like that feeling that I get when I am doing something that feels right, that I know that I should be doing, that everything has come together in this moment, and there is a peace that comes with that, right? Like when it's not hard, when things come together and there is an ease that always makes me feel like things were aligned, like everything came together. If I have to jump through hoops and get all worked up and just everything is just getting thrown at me, I have to ask myself, like, is this what's supposed to be happening? I feel like there's something about alignment that speaks ease to me, which might be a little bit different than manifestation. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it doesn't have to be different, Zohab. I think that for me, the manifestation is the pre-work. So let's say the manifestation is part of the vision boarding, part of the setting out what you want your goals to be, et cetera, et cetera. The alignment comes after you've already done that work and you're able to know what the buckets are. And so then the creation of the buckets is the manifesting. The aligning the buckets is literally just that, the aligning them. So for me, it's like a B to the part A, but it doesn't have to be. Everyone kind of thinks of it differently, but for me, that's how I think of it.
I like that bucket idea because it made my mind immediately went to themes, right? So are there themes in what I want to do? And how can I put those things in categories based on the themes that they possess?
Okay, so in my head, right? So manifestation for me is, I'll give an example of tangible manifestation in my life. I gave my car back to Nissan because I signed this ridiculous contract because I was being pressed, right? So I gave them their car back, and then I didn't have a car for like a year. I didn't have a car. However, my husband's grandmother had a brand new car that she wasn't driving, so she let me drive that car the whole year. And so that was manifestation, right? No, that was alignment, right? I was aligned there, right? It wasn't my car, but I had a vehicle that I could drive and I could do whatever, as long as I took care of it. And then the next year, his sister bought a new car and just gave me her car. So that's manifestation. I need the car. It's my car. Like, it's mine. I don't have to, there's no other way, all I had to do was get the papers, put in my name, and keep it moving. So do that make sense the way I just said that?
Yes, because the pre-work was you going back to Nissan and being like, y'all can have this car back. That was the pre-work that set into motion everything that came after that.
Right. So like admitting to myself, like, yeah, that I took bit off more than I could chew. Let me realign myself with something that's more in my pocket range.
Love that. Love that.
You want to ask the next question?
Yeah, let me see. All right. So what makes manifesting difficult? Or conversely, what makes it easy?
Can I answer? For me, I statement. What makes it difficult is my own self-doubt. I will say to myself, I want this, and this to happen, right? But I will, in the same breath, say, but what if I can't? Prime example, I used to have a small business that I recently closed, and I would say things like, I want, I don't know, $20,000 in sales. I want my jewelry to be in this place, and this place. I want to see, I just want these amazing things to happen with this business. And in the same breath, I will say, but what if I can't keep up? What if people don't like it? What if it doesn't happen? It's just, or what if I get tired and burnt out and can't? And so for me, it's like, I know the desires of my heart. Maybe because it's Sunday, I'm feeling real churchy today. I know the desires of my heart. However, I am also in some ways afraid of them, or don't think that, or worry that I can't achieve them, or just my own negative self-talk. I've been in therapy for a long time working through the things, but it's like, on one hand, I know the power of manifestation. I have seen it in my life. There are things that I have desired, spoken out loud, worked toward, and saw it come into fruition. I'm like, wow, damn, like, in a way that blows my mind. And at the same time, there is still this worry, this anxiety of, but if I do manifest this thing, if this does happen, what if it's not, what if I can't handle it? What if it's too much? what it, you know, just what if I fail, right? Like all of these things that make it difficult. So even when I journal and write out things, sometimes I go back and I reread stuff and I'm like, damn B, you were doubting yourself in your own little affirmation. Like what sense does that make?
Right.
You know, and so I think that is I think that's what makes it difficult for me. Just the own internalized fear and self-doubt.
Mhm.
Ooh, that's a good one, B. For me, it is the limits we place on ourselves. So I'll give you an example, a personal one. I'm from a very religious family, Southern Baptist, and a lot of my family members really struggle with manifestations that aren't rooted in their religious beliefs. So prayer, they get that, they understand that. If it's in the Bible, they get that, they understand that. If the church endorses it, they're all behind it. But whenever there's something beyond or outside of that scope, they struggle because they feel as though it's in conflict with their faith. And so sometimes they may put limits on their manifestations if they feel like it's beyond the scope of what their faith teaches them. And my position has always been that you can manifest in whatever realm you want. And if that realm, if the faith realm works for you, go with that. But you shouldn't feel limited by that. And I've seen a lot in my own family, this idea that, oh, well, I don't have to worry about it. God's gonna take care of that. And you know, that's all I have to do. Well, I don't subscribe to that. I feel like that can be part of it, but there is a role for you to play. But this idea that that your faith is all you need, that is limiting. And so I think that that's one example. But to answer your question more broadly, I think the limits we place on ourselves could make it difficult for people to manifest what they want and to manifest things around them.
Can one of y'all give us how we can make it easier? Because y'all both gave us how you make it difficult.
Right? I think it's small things. I think it's one, and we've already spoken a few different practices, right? Like what it could look like, whether it be affirmations, writing it down, vision boarding, visualization. I think one of the first things that can make it easy is finding a practice or a method that works and speaks to you. I think that is because again, if vision boarding isn't your thing, if you like, I'm not gonna cut out these here magazines and glue the stuff. I'm not doing that. Even though I love it and there's other ways to do it, of course. But if that doesn't speak to you, find something that does. If it is, I think that's one way to make it easier, and also an easier way to just incorporate that into your daily life. So again, like for me, if it is list making is my thing, so then I'm going to use something that I'm already doing already and incorporating into that. If prayer is or meditation or music, if that's what it is for you, use what works and what speaks to you, as a first step.
Or how many of those things? If
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, sorry, B, didn't mean to step on you there. In addition to writing, also question, why is this important to me? Why do I want this? You know, it's amazing that people always question why they're unhappy. When people are unhappy, they always go to the why. Why am I unhappy? Why am I not pleased? Why am I not being pleasured in this moment? But you know what we don't do? We don't ask that question when we are happy. So when you are happy, ask why. Why am I happy? Why am I at peace? Why am I feeling pleasured right now? It is important to always ask the why, not only in moments of distress, but also in moments of uplift. So you want to ask that why all the time, good times and in bad times.
I like that framing.
Yes. A friend of mine, we were talking about gratitude lists, and she was saying that with her her gratitude practices is not just to make a list of things that she is grateful for, but why she's grateful for them, which I think just speaks to what Isaiah said so perfectly. Because it's one thing to say, I'm grateful for my health and my family and my resources, but why? And that, again, and I feel like the question why has been kind of this common theme today, period. Why, purpose, and purpose. So yeah, that's a key takeaway.
And
Again, Isaiah is smart.
All
I
that
love
wisdom
it.
from
I
this
had
lady
two
today.
full cups of coffee today, y'all.
He is awake, and it's not even noon.
I really do like the reframe of asking yourself why you're happy, why you're joyous, why is this pleasurable? That's a completely different way to look at life. And it helps you with that purpose work too.
and it
Mm-hmm.
helps you stay out of victim mode.
Yeah,
Mm.
got that right.
Ooh, yes, yes. When things are going well, um, how are we holding on to that? How are we, you know, holding on to that memory or what is happening? My therapist says to me sometimes, there was a period in my life where things were going well. And I said to her, I said, I'm a little nervous. Like, I got on the call and she's like, how are things going? I was like, well, shit, I'm not even going to complain today. Like, this and this and this happened. Like, these things are feeling good. Like, and she was like, write that down. Write the things that are happening that are going well or bringing you joy or feeling bringing peace to your life. That way, when things are not that or out of balance, we know what to go back to. And so I've definitely held on to that because sometimes when things are going well, I statement, I'm like, well, shit, what's about to happen next?
Yeah. Yeah.
like this is literally too good to be true. Like, just in that fear instead of, no, Bianca, you were journaling, manifesting, and wanting peace. You were wanting a softer life. You were wanting less stress and chaos. So here it is. Like, take it in, enjoy it. I deserve. I have, worked for this, prayed for this, manifested this. So instead of getting into that fear space, oof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, making a gratitude list and a I deserve list
Yeah.
are two really great ways to kind of shift that energy there too.
I'm shimmying on that I deserve list. I like that there. Mhm.
Is there anything else you all want to tell the people about manifesting personal power, purpose before we wrap up?
No, but I do want to manifest some love for the two of you, if I may. I'm not the most sentimental person, as Bianca and the listeners of our show will tell you. But I absolutely love you, Angel, and you, Zoha. You ladies you are a gift, and your show is a gift. And I have known you for so long, and to see you do this show, it's just amazing to see and to listen to. And so, for whatever it's worth, I just appreciate everything you ladies are doing over there.
Y'all,
We
y'all,
appreciate
y'all are doing the work. Like, it is really like for yourselves, for your community, and I remember, I don't know if you said on when you came on our show or you mentioned it on yours, but like how just doing salt, pepper, ketchup is also like healing for you. Like, just how you come on and it's talking about things that you need to talk about and just kind of work through. And it's that vulnerability and transparency that, one, I think draws people in and we appreciate, but also it's like, it's amazing to literally bear witness to you all healing and helping other people heal at the same time. I mean, a gift. Just woo, chills. Again, a
Y'all
shimmy.
are
Thank
too
you.
kind.
Yes, thank you guys. We feel the same, guys.
We do. I mean, y'all show is funny as hell. It's very informative, and I'm always walking away with something that I get to do. Like, really, really appreciate you all as well. Thank you for all that you're doing. And thank you for blazing the trail for us.
Yeah.
To come through.
Y'all are doing it. Congratulations. You know what I'm manifesting, Zohab? If you're not doing it already. Yesterday I was taking Noah to yoga, and I said to myself, "Self, is Zohab teaching yoga classes for the babies?"
We am.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm all loud. I'm loud.
One of our friends teach her kids yoga. So yeah, that's yes.
Okay, then we're gonna cause my their son loves some yoga, and I say he needs more of this. I said, wait a minute. Who else is doing it?
Yeah. No, it's for everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. Did y'all want to leave your deets where everybody can hang out and hear your voices and your laughter and your joy that you share every week?
If you like foolishness and fuckery with a dose of wisdom, joy, and unapologetic mess, tune in to Ward and Webster every Saturday. wardandwebster.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at Ward and Webster, Twitter, Ward and Webster, Facebook, also Ward and Webster. Yeah, and that's where we are, bringing you all just a very good time. If nothing else, it's gonna be a good time.
And that's the mumbo sauce for the day, folks. Check out Ward and Webster. Get your learning, healing, and growing on.
We love it. Thank you.
You want to tell them where they can find us?
Yes, y'all can catch us at Salt Pepper Ketchup Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can also Gmail us at saltpepperketchuppodcast@gmail.com. Leave a comment if you love us, if you like us, if you're riding with what we're putting out. And if you don't care for it,
don't leave a comment.
They said keep that to your damn self.
Yeah. Ain't got nothing nice to say.
Like your mother said, keep it to yourself.
Yes.
All right, guys, we appreciate you so much. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.